Hey everyone, welcome back to day 14 of my 30-day skull challenge. So this was my starting point. I do have a video on this in the description box below. And then I have another video which is the 7-day update. So make sure you check that out so that you can see all this in more detail. I'm just going to scan over this quickly whilst we get to day 8 where we're up to. So we can talk in more detail about this last week of drawing. Before we get too into it, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. That really helps the channel out a lot. Make sure you turn notifications on to be kept up to date with this challenge. Don't forget that you can follow me on all social media. I'll put links to that in the description box below, where you can see more of my artwork and doodles. And this is where we're up to, so we're starting on day 8. So I don't want to spend too long breaking these down, but I was originally using my Proco skull for most of my drawings so far, which is a pretty cool tool to have. I do have a video on this as well, so I will put links in the description box below. But I actually found an artist or a 3D modeler on the website. I believe it's called Sketchfab. I think it goes by the name VAA, but I will put a link below if you want to check that out. But I actually found it a lot easier to work from the 3D skull on my computer than I did the actual one that I've got in person, which is a bit annoying. But he has a lot of useful tools where he breaks a skull down. So here, for example, it looks quite a simple thing, but these two circles, just a smaller one, he cuts the measurements down for you as well within his models. But just using that technique helped me a lot to draw from the front angle, or to draw quite quickly from the front view, because it's the measurements that I usually get wrong, and I usually spend way too long on them, and yeah, it just gets really annoying. Here are just some more doodles. You can see a problem I have throughout this process so far is the mouth. It's too low down on this one, but I also haven't been giving enough space for the mouth on the jaw. Too far forward on this one. This one's not too bad, but it's not perfect. So I would definitely say that my jaw, mandible, whatever you want to call it, ratio to skull is probably one of the bits I'm struggling with the most. Day 9, these look a little bit more rendered, like here. You can see this one was back to the Proco skull. So you can almost see the angle that I had it at there. I drew this one from life, and I had my phone here with a torch on, so it was basically lighting up this side so that I had a little bit of shadow to render. That was more just to keep me sane than anything else, because I haven't actually done any real shading on these so far. This one I think was just a random image on Google, but I kept having to remind myself at this stage I'm not doing very well with these finer details, and I need to start simplifying like this to actually learn the basics and get the proportions better before I worry too much about the details and fail at them like I already have been doing. So you can see here I've started doing more of these simplified drawings. Again, that guy on Sketchfab, he has a really good model. In fact, he has quite a few of them that are absolutely perfect for this. So I basically took a step backwards to do this. The next day, same kind of thing. Occasionally I tried to block in a little bit of detail, and you might notice it always seems to turn out a little bit worse when I add the detail in, which shows to me that I'm probably not ready. And on this page here, I actually tried to go almost from a side view and then just turn it bit by bit. Sorry, it might go that way. So turn, turn, turn. So we're going more towards a front view. I always think that a front view and a complete side view are relatively straightforward to draw, and even sometimes a 3/4 angle, but when you only turn them a tiny bit, like this one is a side view just turned a very small bit, I find that more difficult to draw. So day 11, again, like last time, I am using just ballpoint pens. It's a Bic round stick, medium, and Papermate. I liked how that last page turned out, so I think I tried it again, starting from a complete side view and just turning it bit by bit. Again, that is the advantage to that 3D model. Although I say advantage, you could do that with a model from life as well. I seem to work or find it a lot easier using reference on my screen, but I'm trying to get a variety. Hopefully that will benefit me. And on this page, again, nothing fancy. This one's got a little bit more detail, but I am trying to work still on the proportions. I think I probably will be throughout. This one, it was a similar model, but it had more planes on it, so you can see in terms of getting the lighting, you can see where I've drawn the planes a little bit more. I know it's only faint. You can see it more around the muzzle area, the mouth, whatever you want to call it. But I do think that they are starting to look more human, more like skulls in terms of the proportions. I'm still getting it wrong sometimes. I'm still playing around. So day 12, you can see some of them still look a little bit off. But I did notice that, like the Proco skull, for example, some things about it look really good, really accurate. This one is meant to be like the Andrew Loomis proportions for drawing the head. But the more reference I find online, I'm starting to realise that, you know, it sounds obvious, but not all skulls are the same. I think I went in with the mindset of trying to get it too exact to that skull. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is use it for rough guidelines to start the fundamentals. And here we go. Last of all, you'll notice I've now gone from 2 pages a day to 1 page a day. To be honest, I'm actually really struggling to even fit 1 page a day in. But I do think that the improvements are very noticeable now. Without reference, they wouldn't look like this, don't get me wrong. But some of these are only relatively quick drawings. So I think if I can keep this up, I will definitely improve. But I do need to start adding in some detail and areas like that I'm a little bit afraid of. So yeah, day 13 on the left, just some more angles again. And then day 14, you can see I've started making some more notes again. I did start off in like the first week with a lot of notes. That did help me learn. But I started just, whilst I'm limited on time, just literally drawing and not worrying too much about notes. As long as I can get something done each day, that's the main thing. So for example here, I'm just noting down that from the side view, the head is much wider. And as it turns from 3/4 angle, it gets narrower until you're completely front on. And then it's quite narrow. So these 3 would work as a good example to that. And then I occasionally try what I would call an extreme angle, and these are really difficult to do, for me at least. I'm not too concerned with that though, that's more just to keep things interesting. So that's it guys, that's where I'm up to. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the progress so far. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep drawing as many skulls as this each day now, but I will try my best. I'm pretty undecided whether to make the next video the 30-day finishing point, or whether I should do another update at the 21-day mark, so let me know what you think. Aside from that, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you've hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on for future content. Thanks for watching everyone.